What's cracking, guys? It's Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and here's my review of Naruto Shippuden, episode 299. But first, I want to put a quick shameless plug into a video series me and Christian are working on. We are reviewing every single Dragon Ball Z movie, everything from Dead Zone to Wrath of the Dragon, in honor of the release of Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods this March. So make sure and check that out. I'll put an annotation right above for Dead Zone, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below, so make sure and check that out, and thumb it up, and like it, and love it, and here we go, it's Naruto time! So this episode, I felt, was probably a little bit better than last week's, and it was full of some really awesome action. You got Nagato, who's basically choking out Naruto, ripping his soul out, and Killer Bee comes down on top of him, and then he summons his weird arms from out of his shoulder. This looks really, really cool, and I especially love the way they animated his hands when they're transforming into the guns and everything. It looked really creepy and really messed up. It got even better, too, because Itachi got involved in the battle, and then Susanoo came out, and that's pretty much the ultimate Uchiha technique at this point. It can pretty much destroy just about anything. And now that Itachi is an immortal zombie, there's no way he's going to lose. That is until we get Chibaku Tensei, which, if you don't remember, is that big-ass technique where Nagato summons all those pieces of the ground together. He summons like this weird gravitational ball into the air, and everything starts getting pulled towards it. And they're pretty much almost screwed at this point, but then Itachi gives us this ultimate lesson that pretty much every jutsu has a weakness. You got Killer Bee, who immediately went into his Eight Tails form, which was really cool. Naruto did his Rasen Shuriken, and Itachi did this weird thing with his Susanoo. He threw these bead-like projectiles at it, which look a little more detailed than the manga, but it's still the same thing here. It's still awesome. Spoiler alert, Nagato is eventually defeated, and he is sealed away within the Tatsuka Blade, which is that weird sword that the Susanoo has, which was used on Orochimaru, and they definitely remind you of this because they give you a nice little flashback. He uses this sort of weird metaphor about volumes of books, how Jiraiya and him were like the 3 volumes of this series. Jiraiya was the first, he was a failure in the second. He wants Naruto to be basically the triumphant 3rd volume, and he does all this before he's sucked away into this blade. Naruto wants to carry the burden of this war because he's the main character of the series, but we finally get it beaten to his head this time that Itachi lets him know, no, you're not in this alone, you have your friends behind you, and again, they remind you because they show you the scene of pretty much every single main character in the series that Naruto is related to, and you know, it's not too bad, you know, it's handled well, it's just it kind of went on for a little too long, but still, I did enjoy it, and it's definitely building up to something big here, especially because Kabuto says he's going to use his trump card soon. This was a pretty nice episode. Like I said, there was a pretty good chunk of action. The first, half of the episode was pretty much all raw action, and it was really handled well, especially because you got these really crazy characters fighting each other. It wasn't exactly what I wanted from this battle, but I still really enjoyed it, and I'm still anticipating what's going to be happening later. All of the story moments that were happening in the latter half of the episode were handled well, and the animation, like I said, it wasn't the best in the world, but it was still pretty decent, and I can't wait for next week, because we're finally going to get to see those Edo Kages fighting, and I can't wait to see how they're going to be handled, especially that Mizukage, because I just think he's a really awesome and hilarious character. So for this episode, I really did like it. I'm going to give it an 8. It wasn't absolutely perfect. There were some things I wish they could have done a little bit better, but still, it was definitely a wholly entertaining episode, and if you guys are watching this war, you definitely need to check it out, because you get to see Nagato go bye-bye, you get to see Itachi being a badass and being an immortal zombie, and you get to see Naruto finally getting to realize, I don't have to do this all alone. So, check it out. It was cool. So how did you guys feel about the final battle with Nagato? You can let me know with your comments below. And remember, guys, as always, make sure and hit that like button, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps these videos out a lot. Remember to check out that Dragon Ball Z review. We worked really, really hard on it, and we have a lot more of those reviews coming, so stay tuned for those. So that concludes this review today, guys. SuperKamiGuru9000, out.